Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you live in the US, Canada, Australia, UK, Germany, any of the developed countries, Japan, Korea, Singapore, who are non-Muslim countries, you have the right to demand from your employer to give you time to pray.
Quran is my life.
You have the right to demand from your employer to give you time to pray. Because there are laws in these countries that protect you. There are laws that protect you as employees, as workers. And many of the big companies, many of the employers, they don't want to get in trouble by the government. So they avoid every single thing. They avoid every single thing that's possible for them not to get in trouble or not to be sued or anything like that. Don't be afraid to ask time to go and pray. Don't. Because they have to give it to you. By law, they have to give it to you. Don't mention anything about prayer or salat, anything like that, before you are hired. Before they hire you, don't mention anything about salat. Okay? Because if you mention it in the interview before they hire you, then they're gonna think that you're gonna be too much problem and they just won't hire you. They won't give you the job. Then what is the point of talking about salat, right? So wait until you start the job, until you are hired. After you're hired, on your first day in training, orientation, whatever, talk to your supervisor. Talk to your supervisor. Tell them, hey, I'm a Muslim and there are certain times that I have to go step out real quick and I need to pray. Is there any private room, any private area that I can pray in? Tell them this. And I can speak for the employers in the US based on my experience and based on all the people that I talk to. My experience and the experiences of those people that I talk to, they never had any problems with this. They never had any problems with this. They talked to their supervisor. The supervisors were very understanding and they made accommodations for them. They gave them a private room or private office or private area to go and pray. I can't speak for other countries, but I can speak for the US. If you are in the US, you have the right to go and pray your salat. I've tested this with several employers, with many employers, and none of them declined my request. All of them were understanding and gave me a space and time to go and pray. All you have to say is, hey, I really have to go, take care of some business real quick. The key here is to have communication with your employer. Have communication with your supervisor. Sometimes the supervisor is able to make that call and will work with you and you can just go ahead and pray. Sometimes the supervisor will tell you, oh, go and talk to the HR, to the human resource. Then you have to go and talk to the HR and explain to the HR what your situation is, that you are Muslim, that you pray 5 times a day, and during your shift you need to pray certain times. You need to pray and you need to step away from your duties, whatever your job is. You need to step away and go and pray. It only takes like 5 minutes. If you explain it to them like this, trust me, 99% of the time they will say yes. They will not give you any problems and they will work with you. But You have to do your part. You have to request it. You have to tell them. You have to communicate with them, because other than that, they won't be able to read your mind. They don't know what you want. They don't know what you're thinking. None of these things. So you have to communicate with them and you have to tell them. Once you do that, most of the time it's success. However, in case if it's not success, in case if they give you hard time, or they're not willing to work with you, or they're not willing to give you time for you to go and pray, then that is a problem. And every time there is a problem, you need to address it. Don't ignore it. So you have few options. Each county and each state, now I'm talking based in the USA, based in America. In each state, there is a department. There's an entity that overlooks and oversees the employers. Okay, Department of Labor. Each state has different name. If your employer is not willing to give you time for you to go and pray, you need to contact few people. You need to contact your congressman. You need to contact Secretary of the State. You need to contact the Department of Labor. You need to contact the Workforce Commission in your state. All these people are there to serve you and protect you and make sure that your rights are being implemented and you are getting your rights from the employers. Additionally, there are free legal aid services in most of the major cities and most of the counties. They have free legal aid services. Make sure you contact them with your problems. Tell them, I'm having this problem with my employer. I don't feel comfortable doing my job without praying. Mentally, I'm not there. Mentally, I won't be able to do my job because physically I'm not praying. Prayer is part of my life. It's like eating, right? Each employer has to give you time for lunch. That's the law. And eating is for the body. Prayer is for the soul and for the mind, and everybody needs it. You explain this to these different entities that are there to protect you and help you, and they will do something about it. And trust me, employers don't want to hear from any of these entities. They don't want to hear from them. And if your employer is not working with you to give you time to go pray your salat, just talk to the HR that you will be contacting all these departments, and the HR will be hearing from all these different entities. Guess what? They don't want to hear from these different entities because they don't want to be a red flag, because they will be fined thousands of dollars depending on how big the company is, maybe even millions of dollars. So they don't want to deal with that. The point here is that if you're a Muslim and you work for a company, you have the right to ask for prayer time, for time to go and do your salat. All you have to do is communicate with them, talk to them, and they will work with you. I hope that helped, inshallah. Remember, your salat is your life. The only thing that makes you Muslim is your salat. And that is the first thing Allah will ask you in the day of judgment. Take care now. Put that big old smile on your face. It looks good on you.